Here's a perfect example of the cognitive dissonance Jehovah's Witnesses struggle with. So not long ago, I posted a video about what happened to me when I was 18 when I decided to marry outside the truth. So I posted a video on YouTube and also on TikTok. And then, of course, the Jehovah's Witness trolls were quick to come in. So in my opinion, any Jehovah's Witness, baptised Jehovah's Witness, who actually goes and looks at so-called apostate material, they are probably having doubts already, but they're in denial. Speaking from personal experience, because I would occasionally look up so-called apostate material and then would quickly pray for forgiveness, because Jehovah's Witnesses are not allowed to watch, read, discuss, or talk about anything that is classed as an apostate material, anything that is against the organisation or, their faith. But those Jehovah's Witnesses who do comment on, let's say, my content or any other content that is posted by an ex-Jehovah's Witness who is actively and openly, what you would say, going against the organisation, that is a violation of Jehovah's Witness standards in itself. It's been reported so many times on the JW broadcasting by elders, by governing body, that they should not and are not allowed to watch, listen, read, talk about apostate content. But here we go. Dawn R6381 on YouTube decided to comment. Now, this is clearly someone who is a Jehovah's Witness, or at least whether they're active or not, I don't know. But the comment itself is very, very self-explanatory. It says, if I'm understanding this correctly, you were a baptized Jehovah's Witness, so didn't you make the choice to live by the standards? Did the elders make you get baptized? So straight away, that tells me this person didn't even watch the video fully and has definitely not watched my content, and if they have, they just skimmed through it. They've not really listened or understood what I've been talking about, my history, how I became a Jehovah's Witness. So in that video I already said that I did not know about the rule on marrying non-believers when I was getting baptized, because guess what, I got baptized less than 6 months after meeting Jehovah's Witnesses, which was about 3 months after I started studying. So how could I possibly know everything at 14 and just after my 15th birthday getting baptized, when I'd only been out on those so-called ministry for 6 weeks? So that's all the experience I had being a Jehovah's Witness. There was no way for me to know all the rules, the Britain or otherwise, that Jehovah's Witnesses have. It was a complete deception. I was being love-bombed, encouraged to commit to an organisation without knowing what it really stands for, and then later punished for something that I was never taught or told before I got baptised. So after I put my reply, explaining I was 14 and I was not told of these things before getting baptised, the same person comes back to reply, I'm assuming your parents were Jehovah's Witnesses. They should have made sure you understood the seriousness of getting baptised. And if you didn't, they should not have allowed you to. It sounds like your parents failed you. Again, assumptions. Like it's saying, I'm assuming. Well, if you bothered to actually listen to any of my content or what I wrote even in my YouTube channel description, right? You don't even have to watch the videos. I've wrote it all out, saying I never knew witnesses before 14. I've never heard of them. They were just a new sect coming into Latvia after Soviet Union broke. I didn't know anything about them. It was just, to me, it was presented as a group that helps people understand the Bible, but they weren't Catholic or Lutheran or Protestant or whatever, Baptists. They were just a group of Bible students. So if this person actually bothered to even look or read anything, they would find out that, first of all, I didn't meet witnesses until I was 14 in Latvia, okay? And then, secondly, obviously, I was roped into it with deception, promise of the resurrection of the dead, which obviously I now know it's complete bollocks. And then, main point is, I've clearly stated in one of my videos that my father died when I was 10. In fact, it probably wrote it in my description anyway. Okay, so that is almost like an insult. Your parents failed you. Yeah, they failed me because one of them, dropped dead when I was 10, and the other one was mentally handicapped. So that's why Jehovah's Witnesses could take advantage of a vulnerable teenager and a handicapped adult, because we didn't know any better. So you look at these people, this is how they talk. This is how baptised Jehovah's Witnesses talk, right? They will blame a child for getting baptised and getting punished for wrongdoing later. Then they will actually look at the organisation that they are part of and see what the governing body, grown-ass men, right, and the elders, again, grown-ass men, are doing. It's abuse, right? It's complete abuse. But no, you become a flying monkey. You become complicit in their abuse, because you'd rather blame a child or a young teenager for getting baptised and then having their life ruined for not knowing the rules, or saying your parents failed you when one of them was dead anyway. Like, this person should be ashamed of themselves, but the fact that they're actually commenting on an apostate content, maybe it may all make them think, a few years down the line, decades. I mean, it took me a while before I fully accepted that actually, this organisation is just full of shit. So yeah, but this is what I'm trying to show is cognitive dissonance, because this person would rather blame a child, because at the time I was 14, I was still a child, with a dead parent and a mentally handicapped parent, for getting baptised too quickly and then getting punished for not knowing the rules, because I was encouraged to get baptised like 6 weeks after I became unbaptised publisher, which about 3 to 4 months of actually studying with Jehovah's Witnesses, going to meetings. I mean, come on, the cruelty of implying that children are to blame for being abused and deceived, or even a young teenager. And I think they need to look in the mirror. So Jehovah's Witnesses, if you're watching Dawn 6381, I'm not going to reply to your comments anymore, because you clearly you're living in Delulu land. You've lost the plot. If you can be part of an organisation that protects child abusers, and can lie to you, you'd rather protect these grown men who are taking your money and, lining their pockets than admit that children should not be baptised in the first place, and certainly not someone who's been part of coming to meetings for 6 months. But you don't care, because to you it's all about numbers, let's get everybody baptised, get saved. No, you destroy lives. So, yeah. But thank you for being an example of what you Jehovah's Witnesses are really like, and how you think about people and how you treat innocent victims. That's it for now. Bye.